Hello, everybody. We are here today with our long-term member and my colleague, Mike Gorchov, and we're here to talk about his personal experience with the Seven Summits Trader, the SST trading system. Mike has been a member of NetPicks now for many years and has traded many of our trade strategies, and he's currently an SST member, and we see each other every day in our live trade room. Mike, if you wouldn't mind saying hello to everybody and maybe telling us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you live.
Okay. Well, I owned a maintenance supply company for many years dealing in the islands. And when the island started to fall apart after, I think, 1 year, they had 4 hurricanes in a month span, which really destroyed them. I knew I had to find something else. So I started to trade part-time, and I started way back part-time with a program called Traders International. Am I allowed to mention competition?
Just tell your story.
Okay. And I did that for a while. Then I, of course, like everybody else, I bought a bunch of programs. With NetPicks, I started with Universal Market Trader. I had Advanced Tactics. I bought the options program. And I have really resisted for a while buying SST, mainly because I really didn't like the stops. I thought the stops were too large, and I thought I had sent in emails about it and so forth. But then I finally did give in, and I purchased it, and it was the best deal I ever made. As far as I'm concerned, this program, if you follow the rules, and like you've said many times, Troy, if you follow the rules and make it your own, it's very hard to fail with this program. The only way you can fail is when you take a loss and you just don't trade anymore. You've got to take the signals. And I might mention also that I did run a trading room for a year for Traders International. We had over 250 people in the room, and the unfortunate thing was that we just had a program that didn't seem to work for the fellas, and I felt bad, and I left it after a year. And I've gone through many programs until I found the SST, which I'm very happy with. As you can tell, I'm in the room every day, and I'm really pleased about the results.
Well, you've obviously had a lot of experience trading. I didn't know that you actually hosted a live trade room, so that's pretty interesting. So now that you've had time to live and trade with the SST, you feel a lot more comfortable with the way the stops actually work out with the trade setups?
Yes, I do. I've made a few changes really to suit my own personality, so to speak. Sometimes the trade, as you well know, the worst thing in the world is when it trickles in by a tick or two and then immediately turns away and becomes a loss. But usually a reversal comes up way before the stop ever gets hit, so that you don't take the full, so to speak, the full bite of a loss. And and these are things that, of course, I didn't know when I was evaluating SST for purchase. And I really think that everybody has to really try it for a month or so before they make up their mind that it's for them or not for them. And I think the best thing that they could do is just put it on sim, which I did for about 2 weeks. But it's probably the simplest program that I've ever seen. There's absolutely no question where the entries are. There's no question where the add-ons are. There's no question where the stops are. I mean, all you've got to do is follow directions. I almost hate to say this, but it's about as close to a black box without being a black box as I've seen on the market. And I got a closet full of stuff.
I guess that's a good thing. Of course, with the training, we teach you what everything is. So I wish we could just put it on autopilot. Wouldn't that be great? But it makes it so easy to trade manually. And you know, Mike, would you say that for the most part that the stops, we know that they're really dynamic, and for anyone just trying to get exposure to the SST for the first time, you know, don't want them to leave this interview thinking that the stops are just, you know, so large that they have all this risk. I mean, wouldn't you say that most of the time those stops are not only tightening up and reducing risk, but ultimately seeking to put you in that risk-free position, and then from there trailing up and locking in profit? I mean, that's usually what happens, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, basically, you know, as I said, the only way that you ever really get hit with a loss of any size is if the trade does trickle in and then immediately turn against you, which is a rarity. But 90+% of the time, these stops are moving up dynamically. You've got money management, which automatically locks in a tick or two. And I've added a few things for myself, which works for me. May not work for somebody else, but pretty much what I do, I only trade gold, the Russell, and crude. That's all I trade. Gold I start in the morning. I only take one trade if it's a winner. If it's not a winner, I then go for one more. If I lose them both, which I might add has never happened, thank God, but if I lose them both, I'm done. But what I do with gold, because the targets are so large, is I trade 2 contracts with gold. I take the first one off at the first target, which is usually at least 2+ points. And as you know, in gold, that's $200. And then I immediately move the stop to one tick above. And then if it goes one more point in my favor above the first target, I then move my stop on the second contract to the first target. Today, gold went to the first target. I got out, moved my stop to one above, and gold just went, just like it knew where it had to go, right to the second target. And it was a total of about $800 on 2 contracts. I mean, it's tough to make $800 in a matter of 20 minutes anywhere that I've seen.
That's great.
And what I do differently with crude and the Russell is I've added a third contract, which I waited until I was up a certain amount of money trading the program. And now I've added a third contract. And as soon as it hits, of course, money management, I move my stop to one above. But if money management is 2 points or better on crude and the Russell, I take the first contract off. I then wait for the second contract, and then if it hits the second contract, then I immediately move my stop for the other 2 contracts down to the first target. And then I usually, if it starts to move up, I'll take that second contract off somewhere around the second target and then let that third one be the runner. So that the worst that I could do if this thing goes 2 points in my favor, which a lot of them do, a lot of these crude and Russell trades go right to the first target or 2 points almost immediately. I'm locking in a couple of dollars. That's a little bit against the philosophy of SST, but this is something that I've back tested and it works for me.
No, actually, Mike, I would have to say that it's actually right in line with the philosophy, because the philosophy of the SST is to try to get to that risk-free position, as quickly as possible. So it sounds like you've got a really great way of doing that, and I'm really happy to hear that you've been able to take these tools and customize them to suit your own needs. You can give a power tool to 10 different carpenters and tell them to build something, and they're going to build 10 different things. And you give one to me, I might shoot myself in the foot. So I'm going to have to practice for a long time before I get good at using that power tool. And it sounds like you've done the same thing with the SST. You've taken your time to learn it, and then you've been able to adapt it to suit your own sentiments, your time, the amount of time you want to trade, and everything that basically fits your personal needs. And that's how a trader actually takes ownership and becomes successful. So I have to commend you, and I appreciate you sharing your detailed plan with us. That's awesome. I think that people listening to this are going to find that very helpful.
Thank you.
Let me back up just a bit, Mike. Could you share with us how you came about, how you found NetPicks in the first place?
I really don't remember exactly, but I'm sure that it was an email, and then I probably went into one of Mark's webinars, which he's famous for, and I'm sure that that's when I bought the Universal Market Trader. That was my first purchase.
Mike, how many systems would you estimate you tried before you found NetPicks?
I don't think I could even begin to count.
A lot,
I'll
in
bet
other
you
words.
I must have tried at least 10.
Okay. And if you had to put a dollar amount, what do you think you spent on systems?
Well, I would say probably somewhere between 30 and 40,000.
Wow.
I mean, these systems were not cheap. These systems, if you go to buy a system on the market, most of these systems are in the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 range, and they were then.
And
I bought
them
one
all in the
system
box.
that is now that he now sells for $16,000.
And you're not using it?
Nope, they're all sitting in the closet.
So with what you invested in the SST, you think you got a fair price?
I paid under $1,000 because I got
Peanuts
the
on
family discount. It's the best bargain I ever had. Absolutely.
Mike, apart from the new Keltner bells that you're waiting for, which we're all excited to receive, is there anything else that you're trading or planning on trading as far as systems go, other than the SST and Keltner bells?
No, actually, SST is doing the job for me. I was playing around trying to develop my own system with the conglomeration of some of these indicators from the other programs, but SST is doing the job for me, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, it's really working well.
Just on a side note, Mike, that kind of tickled me a little bit today. I actually got on barber status with one of our members who literally took me up on my suggestion and sent me an Amazon gift card today as a tip. I received it in my email. So officially on barber status with this gentleman, I was really happy. It made my day.
Yeah, but now you're no longer an amateur. You know that. You're getting paid for your services.
Oh, it was a gift, so.
Yeah, I'm kidding. But you know what, Troy? I got to tell you something. That's a tough job, what you're doing in that room. It's got to wipe you out the 2.5 hours, keeping track of so many things. And you do a tremendous job. I mean, there's very few people that could do what you're doing in there, believe me.
I appreciate that, Mike, a lot. Mike, if you don't mind, I want to kind of share with everybody listening here what broker you're using. Would you mind sharing with us your broker, maybe a little bit about your experience with your broker?
Okay, I've actually been a TradeStation user since day one. I've always had it and I've always used it. When Ninja came out, I got the free version of Ninja, I guess like everybody else. But I really like Ninja's Matrix, their trading platform. It's much better, in my opinion, than the TradeStation Matrix. So I paid for Ninja, and the only thing I use Ninja for is to trade. I love the ka-ching that Ninja gives you when it starts moving in your favor. It's just a personal preference. I just love that noise. You know, when it
Don't blame you.
starts to move in your favor, you get ka-ching, ka-ching. There's nothing like that. You know you're making money. And I think it's a lot easier to move your stops in the Ninja platform than it is in the TradeStation platform. I've had many situations with TradeStation where I went to move my stop and I canceled the thing by mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate that. Who
Uh,
are you plugged in through with Ninja?
I use AMP with
Okay.
Ninja. You know what? It cost me $1,000 for a lifetime. But I've got to tell you something. The charts absolutely do not work as well on Ninja as they do on TradeStation. Nowhere near, in my opinion.
So you use TradeStation charting and you use the Ninja interface to trade through AMP.
Yes, the only thing I do with TradeStation is I give them their 10 trades a month to get the platform free.
Right.
So I usually do that on the first or second of the month like I did it this morning. So now I
Mm-hmm.
have nothing to worry about with TradeStation. The platform is free for the month of September.
Perfect. That's a good plan. So let's see. How about any obstacles that you're currently facing as a trader? Are there any things you're trying to overcome? What are you working on other than just sticking to the plan?
You know something, Troy? I honestly, I'm just taking it easy. I love the fact that I start at 8 o'clock with gold, so I sleep a little later because in Florida on the eastern coast. So I start at 8, and many a time, because I use a dollar number, I don't use a two and done also. I use a dollar number. If
Are you
I hit a
starting about your
dollar
quitting
number,
goals?
I'm done. Even if it's one trade. If I hit my dollar number, I'm done. And I like the fact that I don't have the pressure the rest of the day. And I sit here and I try different things and I play around and I go on sim. I take the wife out to lunch almost every day, which is nice. I don't know what else to tell you.
Oh no, that's
But I
awesome. I mean,
think,
it's just a great story. I love to hear the success. I like how you've really crafted your trading to really fit your needs, both psychologically, physically, practically. It's great. What would you say is your biggest trading achievement up till now?
I really have to tell you that I never really made decent money trading. And I always had, a little bit of my business was still left that was to fall back on. But I never made any real decent money, big money, until the SST. That I have to tell you. But since I've been in SST and I add a contract every X amount. Every time I increase my money by X amount, I add another contract. And eventually I want to try and get up to 6 contracts, and I won't go any higher than that with crude and with the Russell. And then I just want to do 2, 2, and 2. 2 off at the first, 2 off at the second, and let the last 2 be the runner. But I've never made this kind of money before trading. And it's great because we don't even think about it anymore. We do whatever we want. And I just know that tomorrow is another trading day, and I got a chance to just add on to the money. And I'll be honest with you, I really hate the weekends because I can't wait till Monday comes.
That's awesome. That's great. Michael, I want to thank you so much. I have one last question for you. That would be, what words of wisdom can you offer traders that are just starting out?
Well, the first thing I would tell them is to get a program, whether it's SST or XYZ, where you've got good customer service and you've got somebody that's going to really explain the program to you. And the second thing I would tell them is that when you decide that this is the program for you, whether it's SST or whatever it is, follow it. Don't deviate, because they know what they're doing. Learn it their way and then make the changes. And I think that the biggest thing that I see these people, like this morning in the room, I saw a guy on the Forex. He put in there that he was down, I don't know, 60 ticks or something.
65 pips,
And,
he said, yeah.
Yeah, and I was watching the Forex trades. I don't trade it, but I was watching, and you were done. You were two and done, I believe. And here's a guy that's a loser. But you know what? When I was running the room, I saw this also. We had no losers for the day, and then I would say, how'd you guys do? And there's always the one or two guys that had the losers, because these guys are cherry-picking trades, and you can't do it. I mean, you have to either have confidence in the system or you don't. If you don't have confidence in the system, don't trade it at all. If you have confidence in the system, which I do in SST, I take all of the trades that come down the pipe.
And I think that is as wise a statement as I've heard, because I agree with you 100%. That no one knows the future. No one can control what the market's going to do. And those that are cherry picking and trying to avoid losses and only pick the winners, they're not really trading for the reason they think they're trading. They probably need to be right, or they've got something else going on psychologically that's preventing them from, putting the odds in their favor. Because since we don't know what's going to happen, the only thing we have power over is just putting the odds in our favor. And odds is not a 100% guarantee. It means we'll lose some, but we'll win a lot more, which is how we make our money. No,
I was going to say, if I could add one more point, don't trade with scared money, because you'll never be successful.
Yeah, that is definitely for sure, because you'll make decisions that aren't the best trade decisions. Well, Mike, I don't want to take up any more of your time. You've been very generous, and I really appreciate you sharing your story with us. And I hope you have a great day. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Don't forget, it's Labor Day and the big non-farm payroll, so we tend to lower our expectations and trade less on a day like that. Roll into the 3-day weekend happy with our profits in hand. That's probably how we're going to handle tomorrow's session. So thanks again, Mike, and I look forward to seeing you then.
Okay, thank you.